Do you dare to believe it? At the beginning of the year 2026, the whole world UFO roll exploded. And this time it was not a folk rumor, but an official who took over and put the radar monitoring data on the table. The city of Bassi also witnessed the snow-capped UFO cluster. This is the first time that the Palestinian Air Force has made such practical data public, subverting all your knowledge of the UFO incident. Hello, and I have seen too many UFO sightings over the years, where they are vague and unclear video frequencies. Either it was the eyewitness's face, the official side was silent, or a meteorological balloon was sent off without a drone. But this time the situation in Bassi is really different. The whole process is high energy, full of dry goods, and after reading it, you will definitely feel that you don't know how close you are to us. First of all, I will tell you the most important thing. At 8 p.m. on January 12, 2026, a UFO sighting occurred in Bassi at the same time, spanning 4 states and 6 cities. Could someone say, isn't it just a few cities that saw unclear flying objects? What is so strange? The important point is that these 6 cities span a full length of 960 kilometers, which is equivalent to the distance from Beijing to Shanghai. At the same time, what we saw was the same east and west, snow-shaped and cylindrical, with a golden luster all over, flying particularly fast, and surrounded by light spots. There are also small points of light next to it moving in sync, and the trick is ridiculously bizarre. It is not something that any human flying machine can do. It started with Miguel Pereira from Rio de Janeiro. Some residents went out to throw garbage and looked up, and they froze in an instant. So they quickly took out their mobile phones and took pictures of the camera, and they could clearly see the snow-capped object gliding fast and fast in the night sky, without any sound. And the metal shell reflected light in the night, which was particularly dazzling. Several cities in Goiás and Sao Paulo have been broadcast on the TV one after another. The objects in the painting are exactly the same as those photographed by Lai Yu, and some people have even photographed them. The length of this snow-gorge-shaped object is more than 100 meters, which is larger than the civil airliners we often see. After 4 or 9 seconds, there were also flashing light spots, and I don't know if it was a transmission signal or a decoration of the person himself. Originally, the big family was still arguing, is this a special effect? Is it deliberately hyped by someone? After all, it is too outrageous to cross such a distance and witness it at the same time. But just when the big family was arguing indiscriminately, the Paxi Air Force directly released a big move. The radar monitoring data of that night was made public. At this time, all doubts were slapped in the face. This data was recorded by the Bassi Air Force's SYNDEC-TA, the Air Traffic Control System and Air Defense Center. The time was accurate until 7:58 to 8:05 on the evening of January 1 and 2. And in just 7 minutes, the radar clearly captured 3 unclear flying object signals, and the flight altitude was between 1500 and 2200 meters, which was much higher than the civil airliners we usually see. And the fastest speed reaches 800 kilometers per hour, which is subsonic speed. But the most strange thing is the trajectory, not a straight line, nor a fixed route, but an irregular curve, fast and slow, completely not following any air and space rules. More importantly, the radar recoil cross-section shows that these 3 objects are all large entities, not balloons, not drones, and not satellites. We all know that meteorological balloons fly slowly, and their trajectories follow the direction of the wind, so it is impossible to have such a fast speed and strange trajectory. The trajectory of a satellite is fixed, and it will not fly at a high pressure of sound below 2,000 meters. As for the unmanned aerial vehicle, it is impossible to fly so high, let alone appear in the same step across 960 kilometers. The passing Air Force also directly stated that there were no military exercises that night. Therefore, these objects have been clearly determined by the authorities to be unidentified, and all the data has been submitted to the UAP Research Department of the National Archives for in-depth analysis. It may be that some people do not know the way, but UAP is a phenomenon in the sky that is not clear, because many countries have relevant records before, but very few officials have taken the initiative to publicly open up the radar data. This operation by Brazil is definitely the first time that it has broken the wilderness. This is also why this incident can detonate the whole world, because it is no longer a folk legend, but a true event endorsed by official data. What is even more surprising is that just 2 days before this multi-layered simultaneous sighting, it was the morning of January 10 to 11. A UFO cluster incident has occurred in the Capro area of the state of Bassi San Espirito. A Bassi photographer named Ndreberlink used his professional astronomical camera equipment to capture dozens of obscure light points. They crossed the field and sky in the form of formations, and they were uniform, not like satellites or any known flying aircraft. Later, 2 professional pilots watched this video and immediately confirmed that it was UFO, because their flight trajectories did not match the orbit of the satellite at all, let alone the aircraft formation, which was interesting. Within 2 days, 2 major UFO incidents occurred in Bassi in succession. One was a cluster of dozens of light spots, and the other was a large snow eggplant-type monomer, and many of them were in the same step, which is by no means a coincidence. Many people will ask, will they be the same group of east and west? It is not easy to say at the moment, but what is certain is that there must be some kind of connection between these 2 events. Speaking of this, some people may think of the UFO events in the history of Bassi, the most famous of which is the Valgenia incident of January 13, 1996. It is also a snow-capped UFO, and some witnesses saw the object crashed, and there were soldiers blocking the scene, and it was rumored that aliens were repaired by the military, and later the site was cleaned up, and even the ground was covered with soil again. There are also people who found stones melted by a high temperature of 1100 degrees Celsius at the scene, which is still an unsolved mystery. In August 2025, in the state of Auckland in northern Baxi, someone witnessed a snow-egged object in broad daylight, with a golden shell and no markings. It is very similar to what I saw on January 1 and 2. At first glance, Baxi seems to have always been a high-incidence place for UFO sightings, and there are many similarities between the snow-covered UFO that appears every time. Is this a coincidence, or is there some secret that is not known? At present, all the radar data and eyewitness frequencies have been transferred to the National Archives of the Baxi, and included in the database of more than 800 UAP records. The research department has launched a special analysis, and it is expected that a preliminary report will be issued in April 2026. At that time, we may be able to get some answers, but there are still many unsolved mysteries waiting for us to explore. For example, where did the Zujia UFO come from? Is it an alien detector, or is it a secret weapon of a certain country? If it is an alien civilization, why do they choose Passy? Why do they need multiple layers to appear at the same time? Spanning 960 kilometers? Is it carrying out some kind of detection? Or is it transmitting a certain signal? Also, why did the Brazilian Air Force suddenly disclose the data this time, and it was hidden before, and this time it really can't be hidden? Or is there other considerations? In fact, UFO has never been anything mysterious. It is just an unrecognized phenomenon in space. But it is precisely because of its unknown existence that we are full of curiosity. Many people feel that the alien text is clearly far away from us, but this time the events of Bassi told us, and we may not know that it is by our side, but we have not yet been able to fully interpret it. I intuitively felt that the purpose of exploring the unknown was not to create panic, but to better understand the world in which we live. This time, the Pakistani official released the data. In fact, it is a kind of progress, no longer avoiding or concealing, but to prove these unknown phenomena, and to study and interpret them in a scientific way. Maybe someone will say, what is the use of studying this? In fact, it is very useful. Every exploration of unknown phenomena can promote our scientific and technological progress. It can also allow us to renew our understanding of the universe and ourselves. Just like before, we felt that the Earth was the center of the universe, and that human beings were the only ones who controlled life. However, with the development of science and technology, we have discovered that the vastness of the universe far exceeds our imagination. The possibility of other intelligent lives is not absent. What we can do now is to patiently wait for the initial report from the Spanish authorities. Let's see what clues they can find from the radar data and video frequency evidence. Of course, I will always pay attention to the progress of this matter, and I will only have a new break and share it with you for the first time. To be honest, this incident of the snow eggplant UFO cluster in Baxi brought us not only surprises, but also a kind of reflection, and we are not alone in the universe. What secrets are hidden in the bottom of those unknown flying objects? It is also possible that in the near future, these answers will be revealed one by one, and we are all witnesses to this exploration. Okay, today I will talk to you about it. Pay attention to me, I am barefoot in the universe. As soon as the official report from Brazil came out, I will dismantle it for you as soon as possible and take you to explore the truth behind this UFO incident that shocked the whole world. See you next time.